There was once a time in my life that I thought the gym would be impractical. I thought it wouldn't be useful at all to me. I thought it was just this thing you would do just to impress the girls, just a thing that you would do just for yourself, a little selfish act just to build muscle, you know? But like, what's the point of it? And so in 2019, I first started going to the gym in order to get better at sports. Now this might not look like much, but I soon started to realize how much the gym was impacting my life, how much I truly gained from it. These realizations and more are what made me respect the gym, are what made me earn things such as discipline, sacrifice, learn how to become an actual man from a child. People who go to the gym genuinely evolve. Like, I'm serious, you actually become a different person from going to the gym. Change is inevitable, and the gym speeds this process up. I just don't understand why people aren't considering going to the gym so much, considering locking in on their workout routine, locking in on all these other factors. Now, when I first started the gym, I was pretty uneducated, I would say. I literally just went to the gym, picked up the weights, and started lifting. I didn't know about the technique. I didn't know about the eccentric and concentric portions of the movements. I didn't know about muscular tension. I didn't know about the stretch of the muscles. But regardless, I still went. I was like, I'm gonna make gains either way because I am a newbie in the gym, and newbie gains exist, obviously, guys, like newbie gains. So I was gaining so much muscle in the first year of my lifting. I was gaining around, went from 60 kilos to like 70 in the first year. I gained like 10 kilos, which is like 15, 20 pounds. I don't know if it was of lean tissue, but it was pretty good. I was getting strong and I was gaining muscle without having much fat. That's a win-win to me. And honestly, it was so gratifying to see the progress just manifest. The person you see in your mind just become into fruition. Like literally just seeing your own creation is just so beautiful. It's kind of the same thing I'm trying to achieve with YouTube. Like, it's really interesting to see how things really play out. Things really just, go with time. The more time you give something, the better it becomes. And this was another value I learned from the gym. I literally just learned that depending on how much time you spend on something, that's the reward you're going to get out of it. The less time you spend on something, the less of a reward you're going to achieve. This is the compounding effect of never giving up and just going regardless of your emotions, going regardless of how you feel, just using logic. Because logically, when I was a child, I was pretty much a teenager child, whatever you want to say, I literally just didn't know anything. All I wanted to do was gain muscle. Like, that was my goal. And so logically, the only way to do that was to go to the gym. And so once I started going to the gym, this is how I built that foundation that translated into everything in my life. I went from some video game nerd kid, some skinny fat, kid that had no self-confidence, was just always self-conscious about himself, into learning about weightlifting, to gaining muscle, to becoming an actual person who had knowledge on all these things. And so once I did that, I gained respect from everyone else. My social life improved. My physical ability improved. I became more athletic. And even my brain fog improved. Like, it's crazy the amount of benefits you get from the gym. And so once I realized this, I started looking into the gym. And I stopped doing the random routine. And this is a routine I stuck with for a while. Powerlifting. Powerlifting was one of my all-time goals. Just seeing your numbers go up. Just seeing a tangible thing, even better than muscle. Just seeing that you're able to become stronger each week, every single time. The effort you put in translates. It's almost like captivating to a certain extent. I was literally magnetized towards the progress. I couldn't stop. And all of a sudden, I was getting stronger and stronger every single day. Because when I was in the gym, my dad taught me progressive overload. He taught me how to add weights, add resistance to what I was doing. And so I became stronger and stronger from this one concept, this one simple concept that many people think with the gym, you're overcomplicating everything. But one simple concept can really change your progress. One thing changed my life. And so once I did this, I became stronger and stronger. I was nearly the strongest in the school that I was at in 2022. And by then, I was benching well over 100 kilograms, which is over 220 pounds for reps, as like a 16-year-old kid. Because all I wanted to do was progress in the gym. That was my one desire. And so I realized how ineffective my techniques are. What if I could build muscle and get stronger? What if I could combine the two and make the most progress in the gym? And so I learned from that. And so during my 4th or 3rd year in the gym, I used all of the knowledge that I had obtained in order to create something called power building. And what is power building? It's essentially combining high reps, low reps, volume, intensity, everything that I knew into one conglomeration of exercises. And so once I did these power building exercises, I started to notice I was getting bigger. And then once I got bigger, I was able to lift more and lift heavier. So people that say muscles don't translate into power, they do. They literally do. Like, mass will move mass. So in the end of the day, whether you like it or not, the bigger you are, the stronger you're going to be. All right. Even if you're a bloat lord like I was, bro. I was genuinely an actual bloat lord during this time. And so come 2023, I was the strongest I had ever been in my life. I was benching around 300 pounds plus. I was squatting over 405, deadlifting over 420. I was doing so much. I was so strong because I had just kept progressing, bro. Like, the progress wouldn't stop. The only time the progress stops is with you, is with your own mindset and discipline. But the gym teaches you how to overcome these limitations. And so what I started doing were my favorite exercises, which were chest flies, chest cable flies specifically, dumbbell incline bench press, because of the range of motion of that movement. I also included the pec deck. And those 3 exercises were really my bread and butter, right? I stopped doing bench so much because I was focusing on the incline dumbbells, and I got extremely proficient in those exercises. Now, this is what I want to teach you. Do not switch your exercises really fast. You want to maximize the amount of muscle you can get with these specific exercises. Become super proficient in them, because the more proficient you are, the better the technique, the more muscular tension, and overall the better you're going to be at these movements. And so once I got maxed these movements out, I noticed that my chest gains were maxed out. Then I went on to doing cable rows, which were like seated cable rows, Y grip. Then I also did pull-ups. Then I did lat pull downs, and those were my 3 movements for my back. I didn't autistically add 50 new exercises. I just did the same exercises every day. And, you know, contrary to popular belief, you don't need to do 600 exercises to put on like muscle, bro. You just do the same thing, get stronger in that, and also increase your technique. Now, obviously, then I started learning the failure technique, because I always thought it was about optimizing. I always thought it was about, you know, trying hard, but also making sure you can get more weight. But instead of that, I switched up my mindset, and then I started doing the failure technique. And so basically, once I did that, I put on so much muscle in a short amount of time because I was pushing past my limits anyways with this. I was getting further than I was before. I was breaching plateaus. I was going into new territory every single month. And so that was another booster. And I slowly just began to realize, to a certain extent, how much muscle can I put on in the gym? How much is there? How much is there left for me? Because there's only so many exercises you can do. There's only so much you can manipulate physics in your favor, in fucking science and all this bullshit, all right? But let's be real. Once I realized it's 2024, midway, my love for the gym kind of waned. And so I started doing more functional exercises, movement, calisthenics wise. And I found that those had their own specific, you know, pros to them as well. And so everything has their pros and cons. And I want to teach you that in these last 5 years of my own training, it's not about, you know, making the most progress in the shortest amount of time. It's about the dedication you put in, the amount of time. Time is so important. I want you to realize this. Time is a factor for everything. The more you put into it, the more multiplicative it will be to your progress. The less you put into it, the less you get out. Simple as that. I genuinely stand by that belief to this day. And honestly, as long as you never give up, as long as you dedicate certain time to your passion, it can only go up from there. And it doesn't matter what others think. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out in the first month, 3 months, year, 2 years, bro. Because eventually, you will see progress. You will see change. And if that change comes sooner, congratulations. If that change comes later, well, you've still done it. You've still achieved the thing you set in your mind, which I did in those earlier years of 2019 to 2023. I achieved those goals. I set them and I achieved them. And I know exactly how I got there. So yeah, if you guys want to keep watching these videos and learn more from me, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like, sub, comment, and as always, peace.